Hello and welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic's Patreon channel for my monthly attempt at the Times' incredibly difficult monthly club special. Now, interesting news. Actually, today I heard from the Times that, unsurprisingly, they are not going to host a Times Crossword Championship this year in December. Because of the pandemic, clearly. But what they are doing instead is on a particular Saturday in November, they are going to basically drop 3 puzzles all at once at 10:30 in the morning UK time, and everybody who is a member of the Times Crossword Club is invited to submit their solution to those, and the fastest all correct will be declared the Times online crossword winner. So that's quite interesting. Now I'm beginning to wish I'd learnt to touch type, but anyway, looking forward to that. But for now, we're going to concentrate on September's monthly club special. I always solve these a month in arrears because it will then tell me at the end of the puzzle if I've got it right or not, and I like to know that. So here we go. Let's see what they've got in store for us in September. Now, 1 across, Rubenesque in the rear, in turn sharply cut at the middle. Well, look at all these clues. There's just tons of verbiage in them, which is going to make things hard. I guess Rubenesque in the rear is the letter E. In turn, sharply cut. Can this be bisect, which would be cut at the middle, perhaps? I don't think so. Let's try one down. Opening in one way, not a thing to start on, perhaps. I think that's entree, which is not a starter course in a meal. In the UK, I think it can be in the US, but an entree can be an opening as well. I'm not quite sure why it says in one way, but I hope that's right. 12 across, friend to bear down, head to the back. Pal is a 3-letter friend. I'm not trusting entree from this. It doesn't look great. To bear down. It means to press on something, doesn't it? Maybe it can mean other things as well. Head to the back looks like you take some word meaning to bear down, you move its head, its first letter, to the back end, and you get this. And it means friend, but that's worrying. Aussie bounder played on maidens vacillating. Aussie bounder looks a bit like a kangaroo or wallaby, but I don't know many 9-letter. I mean, do I know any? Probably not. Could be an anagram of on maidens, but both played and vacillating look like. Played on M. There is an Australian animal called a pademelon. That is right. I don't know how I know that or how I can be that confident about it that entree is wrong, but that is right. There is just a chance those letters should be transposed, but I don't think so. That is some marsupial. So, there we go. I did study mammals once as a teenager for some reason. Anyway, 1 down. Opening, so this wasn't entree. Opening in one way, not a thing to start on, perhaps. Crikey, well, I totally misinterpreted that, I'm sure, last time. Let's try 2. Soak once in pool, quietly going about freezing point outside. Soak is making me think dip. Pool can be lin, quietly can be pee. Freezing point out. So freezing point can be OC for 0 centigrade, I suppose. Point out. Where's the definition though? I mean, 6'3", skinny dip would have been appealing if it wasn't for that D. In fact, skinny dip is quite appealing. It's got the quietly P. I don't know. Let's try 3 down. 1 waits initially for French woman to fill kettle, possibly. French woman can be Madame, MME. What's kettle? Immue. That's what this is. Oh my word. I mean, the things you need to know to get this. 1 is I. W is waits initially. And that is for Frenchwoman, MME, as I said, to fill. And that gives you immue. Now, kettle possibly is the most bizarre definition you get for immue, which is an old word, I think, for to wall up or to enclose. And to kettle is a recent coinage about how the police sometimes kettle protesters. They kind of bottleneck them up somewhere. Unbelievable. Right. Possible source of snag. Developing from bite, e.g. endure. Well, surely that's an anagram of bite, e.g. endure. And for it to be that easy an anagram means it's going to be an absolutely mental word. Possible source of snag. I don't even know what the 1 is. Wagger. How are we going to get a J into this? I cannot begin to think what that is. Let's just have a quick look at one across with this I. Certainly not bisect. Rubenesque in the rear, E. In turn sharply to... Oh, there must be a 5-letter word for to turn sharply. To... I don't know. I mean, it could be from skateboarding or something. Cut at the middle. No, don't know. Let's have a look at these long ones down because I've got a letter in them each. Vote in noble men, disposed. So that's an anagram again, so the word's going to be really unknown. To be universally kind. Well, I feel it might end in IVE. Bene is a possible beginning. Omnibenevolent. Look at that. That's going to work. Bene was the beginning of the second part of the word. That must be right. I mean, to be universally kind works for the meanings of omnibenevolent. I didn't know it was a word, but I do now. Right. Drink to pay for. Support measuring system. To pay for can be foot. Is there some sort of inch, foot, yard measuring system? Drink, though. Club ale? No. This bite, e.g. endure, to give a possible source of snag. What can snag be apart from a hitch or a problem? And where is the J going to go now? Bite, e.g. endure. So that's likely to be a G, isn't it? Waggy. Mad. I might get all the letters of 13 across and still not know the answer. Recalled a short school vacation, having to sunbathe in Indian house. Vac. Recalled a short school. Crikey, no idea there. Let's try 16 with an N at the beginning. One bent on self-study, returning home, crossing Bow Street. It looks a bit like narcissist. There's an arc in that, but it's not long enough to be narcissist. Returning, yeah, narcissist. I mean, that works okay. If that was a variant of narcissist. Arc in returning in, meaning home, and street. I mean, it looks right. It's very suspicious as an answer, as a word. Revolutionary ideas I've partially endorsed. Visaed, which can mean given a visa, and it's hiding. It's just a hidden clue in ideas if. if that's revolutionary, i.e. turned round. 6 down, Sally's taking time out. Rounding up quizzes regulars for rising Mexican artist. Well, a Mexican name's more likely to have ZU as quizzes regulars rather than IQ. The only Mexican artist I know is Frida Kahlo or Diego Rivera. Neither of those are clearly going to work here. Because the whole answer surely is the Mexican artist. So can I think of any plausible Spanish sounding name that fits this pattern with ZU or UZ in it? Sally could be Sorty. Yeah, that's not bad. Cruzeiros, that sounds more Brazilian, but yeah, I like it. I'm going to fill it in and see if I can work out if that works with the wordplay. Sorty without time, rising upwards from the bottom. Rounding up, what's the RC? Rounding up quizzes regulars is the ZU. I mean, that would be fine, except that the CR is completely unaccounted for. Taking time out. Rounding. Quizzes regulars. I mean, it's not going to be far off. Cruz is, of course, cross in Spanish, so it looks very plausible, but why RC in Sorty RC taking up ZU? Sally's. Sorties? Suzeros? But it's not enough letters. Can't quite see that, and I'm guessing at the name, so that's not going to be right, but it's not far off. Mark is running in trousers. They won't support his legs. Trousers can mean pockets or puts inside. So, Mark is running. Mark is that running in trousers. Armrests, yes, arrests. Mark, M, that's German as in Deutschmark. And is running in, trousers that Mark, and we get armrests. Iranian island, are you kidding me? Following one back, His Majesty, HM, arrives at Iranian island. I mean, I would expect an Iranian island to have some mad name like Hukum or something. Following one back. Following can be F, one can be I. It's just not enough letters. Sequa, S-E-Q can be following. That would give this weird Q in it. Well, maybe the Q is part of quiz. Squiceros? I don't think so. So not trusting the C up here at all. What is this? Record a short school vacation. A hole? Having to sunbathe. Oh, bask. Low basker. I mean, it's low basker. Is that an Indian house? It just means nothing to me. Might be some word like a bungalow, might be a house of the zodiac in India. It's not enough to go on. What the heck would this B be doing here? Sally's taking time out. That's just giving eros, or maybe S eros. Rounding up quizzes regulars. I'm going to have to delete most of this because it's just not justified. 7 down, no clue, no letters in the grid. Brush perhaps with law at first. turning to judges, volunteer enforcers. I mean, that could be a posse or something from Islamic law, which is quite plausible. Brush is making me think about a fox's tail. Basil? With law at first? Basil Brush was a classic TV character in the UK. If this was Low Basker, which I sort of wondered about. Brush, perhaps, with law at first, turning. I don't know. I don't know how we're ever going to disambiguate that corner. Maybe getting this letter would help, but not much. Right, yours truly to follow. Being old and fully stretched. Well, in ext. Yours truly is I. Then to follow is next. Being old. Ens is a Latin word that's come into English for being. And in extenso. So that does mean fully stretched from, again, the Latin. Scots brace. Well, that's a brace meaning a couple or two. Themselves winter approaching, the earliest signs. Twa is apparently Scottish for two. 21 down. Was modelling younger head of ancient goddess in wood. Well, head of satyra. That's going to be right. That's got to be a female version of a satyr. Sat for was modelling, as in sat for an artist. Younger YR, and head of ancient is A. A Finnish company in retreat. No way out of Africa. Well, thankfully, I know that the Finnish company must be Nokia. So a Nokia in retreat gives you a Kona. I don't know exactly what that means, but I think it must mean, obviously, no way out in some way in Africa, although I don't know exactly how. Man regularly taking to North's provinces. Taking. To north. I do not know what's going on with that. Let's try 27. An economy originally. So given these letters, that looks like an anagram of an economy. In the red, maybe, finding future. So some sort of mancy. Mancy must be deducing, seeing the future from wine residue or from wines somehow. So originally in the red, meaning finding the future from a red wine. One promoting growth that's short, blathering about several inches. Short, blathering. I don't know. Let's try 24 again. These provinces. Man regularly taking to north. IOM. On. Right. Nomoi. Okay, Nomos is a Greek province, so Nomoi is its plural. Man is the Isle of Man, or IOM. Regularly taking is on, as in on drugs. And that's all heading to the north. Now, what's this? 131. Test team moving up the order. A US Rastafarian. What? It's a great surface. So maybe the whole definition is test. But I feel it has to be. Team moving up the order, AUS. But what's the Rastafarian doing? No, I just don't know. I don't know if I'm ever going to know that. R and B are the only things that occur that fits that pattern now. One promoting growth. So some sort of hormone that ends in lin, like adrenaline, but longer. That's short, blathering about several inches. I do not know. So I'm going to have to tackle this bottom left corner with no letters. That's so annoying, unless I can suddenly think of this. Possible source of snag. I don't know. That's going to take some insight. Sheltering in Perth in Ash's venue. None leaving, none departing. Well, Oval could be the Ashes venue, with O leaving it would give Val. Sheltering in Perth, so a Scottish word probably, that sort of Perth. None leaving, but what the heck is none departing doing then? Seems to be giving the same message as none leaving. Sheltering. No, don't know what's going on there. Haven't got many clues left to completely try. 15 down. Ruining in the past a branch of the family. Question mark. So some pun on a branch of the family. I mean, I'm going to need help with that. Ruining in the past. Some old word for ruining. That's really tough. Right, 14 across. Stage door, that is closed after game. 2 could be closed after what sort of game? I don't know. I don't know there. Lotto I was thinking of, but doesn't really work. Catch, young conservative. Coming from the right, cheers echoing. Catch is not see, that's caught. Net, YC, coming from the right. Cheers, Sitenta would work with net YC reversed and then tar for cheers. But I do not know it as something that means echoing. It doesn't sound like it would. 28 across maybe. Perform boring joke. Song and dance for food in Asia. Boring here could mean going into. So do going into a gag. Gado gado would work. I don't know it, but it's a nice repeated sort of iterative phrases would come from the Philippines or Malaysia or something, which would have do in gag with a do for song and dance. I mean, that looks right. Let's have a look at this long one again. Drink to pay for. Support. Second is to support. To pay for is foot. To foot a bill. Something foot second. I don't know what sort of measuring system that is, but it is at least possible. Drink. Glug. Slug. Slug foot second. Doesn't seem likely, although a G is very possible, in fact quite likely. Foot might just be wrong. There might be other words meaning to pay for, but it does look like a measuring system, doesn't it? Second for time, a foot for distance, maybe some time, distance, and I don't know, I want to say area or something for a whole measuring system. Anyway, let's try 18 down, ending in G. Oh yeah, sheltering. Okay, so maybe ending in ing now. Oh, well that would begin this with an I. I and I. That's something. Test team moving up the order A. India is a test team, I suppose, a test cricket team. And if that moves A up its order of letters, you get I and I. And that must be something to do with American Rastafarians. I don't know how. I think it's some sort of reference to the soul. But I wouldn't have known it was in Rastafarianism. Not allowed. Oh, I haven't looked at this. Not allowed to have a single name heard previously. Banned with only one N gives us baned. We've got two ing words here. Let's try. Oh, branch of the family. Ruining, something, under something. Wing, some sort of wing would be a branch of the family. So forget ruin, forget a branch of the family. Dad's wing or mum's wing. Ruining, though. I do think that ends in wing. Now, 18, sheltering in Perth. So a Scottish word for sheltering. In Ash's venue, none leaving, none departing. So maybe not oval, the whacker or the Ash's venue. I mean, I suppose Nottingham could be an Ash's venue. Or an urn. Ash's venue. And going. O for none. Going for leaving with O leaving. Something OG-ing. Could this begin with O? One promoting growth. That's short blathering about several inches. Oh, an L is a number of inches, isn't it? It's about 45 of them. But what's blathering? Oh, it's some word for talking rubbish or blathering. About L. So it would end in L-in. Some sort of enzyme or hormone. Blathering about L. But I mean, I'm going to need to either think of the word meaning blather, which is not a word I know exactly how to define. I think it's kind of talking rubbish, but rubbish. No. Rabbitelling? Blathering could just be talking in an uncontrolled fashion. So rabbitelling is possible. I've never heard of it though, which is annoying. Oh yeah, catch young conservative coming from the right. Cheers. So echoing, copycat. So to cop is to catch. YC is in the right order, not backwards. And tar is the thing coming from the right. Okay. That works. That's a nice breakthrough there. Right, sheltering in Perth, in Ash's venue. Scooging, SCO, why would that be? An Ash's venue. MCC? No, that's not really an Ash's venue. McCoging. MCG? That is an Ash's venue. Or the SCG. McGoging, that can't be a word. Can it? Non-leoging. McGoging. It just sounds ridiculous. Oh, sheltering. I mean, schooning or something would be much more reasonable, or sculling or scoffing or scaffing. SCG, though. Ash's venue. None leaving, none departing. Oh, no, do not know. Ruining in the past. Oh, this one. Ruining in the past, a branch of the family. See, that's quite surprising if it ends in wing. Declawing? No. Okay, 10 o'clock. Oh, stage door that is closed after game. Goieto? Could that be an E-I-E-T-O at the end of that? Oviedo is a town, but that's not that helpful. Ruining, eschewing. In the past, a branch. That doesn't really work. Let's try this one with a P at the end. Again, that skinny dip thing looked possible. Soak once in pool. Puddle dip or something? Quietly, PP, going about. Freezing point outside. Icy. Dip. I do not know what's happening there. Soak once in pool. I suppose when you dipped a witch on a ducking stool, is that called something? Quietly going about. Freezing point outside. No idea. And then we're back to words that we've studied and tried before. Oh, looks. Let's keep going. Opening in one way. Not a thing to start on, perhaps. Not a thing might mean nothing. To start on, perhaps, is the letter P, maybe? Doesn't seem likely. To tip-top. Laptop. Flip-top. Not a thing. Zip. Zip-top. Opening in one way. That must be a possible thing. Good grief. I don't know the word, but that is possible. That feels right. Okay. Friend. To bear down with head to the back. Friend in 3 letters beginning with O. Owl. With low. I don't see why an owl is a friend. It would work for this kind of puddle dip thing. Let's see if a P here works. Rubenesque in the rear is E. In turn sharply to zig. Zaftig is Rubenesque because it means generously proportioned. Aft is in the rear. My goodness. Okay, good. Now, not puddle dip. Fiddle pip. Soak once in pool. Quietly going about. Right, 0F, 0 Fahrenheit. Going about, freezing point, outside. Fiddle. Let's try this again, the friend. Friend, 3 letters beginning with O. Oaf, oik, they're not friends. Own, that would be now, that's no good. To bear down, to kind of loom, to move towards. Do not know that either. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 answers on the left to get, and the same number on the right. Now what was this? Plus foot second or something. Drink. 3 letters. Drink. Glug or slug. Slug foot second. How can that be a measuring system? Possible source of snag. So again, I just don't know whether J's coming into this. It's kind of almost got to be here, hasn't it? Oh no, maybe there. So, okay, it could end in TJE if it's from Afrikaans or something. Wagabeechi. Wiggabeechi. There's 2 I's. What on earth would that mean? A possible source of snag. That would put an E here, which I kind of believe. It would put a... Oh no, if it was EETJIE, can we possibly have a J in the end of 7 down? Judge. Judge is, of course, the letter J. With law at first. There is phalage or afflage. Those are words. What do they mean? Brush, perhaps. Alpha? No. With law at first turning. something like afflage. And this could be wiggabeachy or waggy-beachy or something. I mean, it's a mad word. This is far from certain. In fact, maybe phallage would be better, but is an F better than an A up there? A short school vacation. I still think that's a hole. But maybe L-O and then the H is there. Lob asker. How about a K there? Callage. And why it doesn't help this thing at all. Sally's. Sortie or sorties. Taking time out. Rounding up. Quizzes. Rounding up. Quizzes. Could the Z be at the top? Zeus. Deros? Zupueros? Don't know. I mean, this L's a wild guess at the moment. Following one back. His Majesty. Has to be HM. Wow, how do we get a guess even at these words? I mean, it's not afflage, it's something like it. I think it does end in J, though. That judge is there. Volunteer enforcers must be the definition. Brush, perhaps, with law at first, turning to judge. So maybe it is Basil with L becoming J. Basiege. Sorry. Islamists. I don't know that word. Following. So that could be sek. That could be in following one. Keshem. You see, that's a possible answer. And now this. It is using the Q. I mean, this is just my ignorance of, okay, up quizzes regulars are UQI, and you put them in sorties, returning, and you get Sikeros, and I have never heard of him or her. Now, 4 across. Bask, that is going to fit in here now. So a hole with baskin going backwards gives us Loch Saba. I don't know what that is either, but it fits the wordplay. Drink, I'm going with slug, mad as that is. I can't think of anything else. Oh, come on, let's just keep putting in answers and see if we get really lucky. Soak once in pool. Quietly going about. Freezing point. I do want that to be 0F. Fodder dip. Freezing point outside. So soak once is the definition. Pool. Pond? No, it doesn't work. Quietly. Could the pool have the F in it? Fodder cap? That's not soak. Oh, what about this stupid friend? Friend to bear down. Head to the back. Friend could be... Come on, think. Friend. What about this stage? Maybe stage is the definition, but what's door doing in it then? I think stage door is the definition. That is, could be IE, or it could just be a link word. Closed is going to be to, as in a door that's to. So the game, I suppose it could be RU or G, go, but maybe it's a 4-letter game, and then there's just 2 after it. But I do not know what the stage door is there. 15 down. Ruining in the past. A branch of the family. Uncle wing. Uncluing. That's possible. I quite like that. I'm going with that. So that is closed after game. Scruto, that's going to be a word. And SC can be the same as IE. Skilicet, I think it stands for. That looks like a real word. Yeah, I like that. Can we get anything better out of the one promoting growth? What's the blathering now? Rubbering or yabbering, yabberellin or gibbering. Gibberellin. Or it could be almost anything that's lobbering. So, sheltering in Perth, that's the definition. An Ashes venue, I think that's the SCG now. But I don't quite know what it means about none leaving, none departing. Scorning, scar. Just can't guess the Scottish sheltering word. Scraying? No, this has got to be a consonant. So, scouring. Ashes venue is SCG, but surely it's the SCG. None leaving, none departing. Oh, going, scooging. Ashes, why would scoo? And I don't believe that's a O, because that just doesn't work for this word. One promoting growth. It must be named after someone called Heberel or Gibberel or something. I do not know. Right, soak once in pool, quietly going about, freezing point outside. I suppose a soak could be a heavy drinker, but what does that make this? I don't know. Soak once in pool, quietly. Freezing point outside. F0? That shouldn't be freezing point. Freezing point. Friend to bear down. Head to the back. To bear down. To bear down. To drop or something. Oppo could be a friend, but that's not going to fit. I'm going to have to look these up, aren't I? I can't just keep... I'm so far away from guessing. Let's see what they are. So we will start with a search on F something D. The only word I could have imagined would fit is fodder cap. Oh, it's got nothing except fuddle cup in Wikipedia. God forbid any of these are wrong. I'm really confident about all those across answers, weirdly. Fuddle cup? What on earth could that mean? A soak once. I suppose fuddle fits that. Pool, puddle with quietly going. And how could... Fuddle cap. About can be CA for circa. So it's puddle without the P's and CA in FP, which must be an abbreviation for freezing point. And that word didn't appear in the whole of T, which is astonishing, but I bet you it's in Chambers. Right, the friend, it's got to be an owl somehow. Friend to bear, Winnie the Pooh's friend owl, with low, having its head moved. That's annoying. Okay. Now, what about the growth promoter? Let's see what that's going to have to be. Gibberellin. I did think of that. Gibbering. Unbelievable. And then this SCG one. Does that help? Skogging. Ashes venue. SCG. And going. So There's just one O missing. SCOG. And then none. Oh, in SCG, none. So O in SCG. And then going with O departing. So skogging must mean departing. It's not quite right yet. Well, that's probably because of Wigabeetji. Let's see what variant of the spelling of that I have not got right. Wagnbeetji. Oh, I didn't even use the right. Oh no, I didn't use the N. Okay, that's pretty poor. I didn't use the anagram fodder, but I'm not sure I would ever have come up with that version of it. Wagnbeetji. Like that, and that finishes the puzzle. What a monster. Let's just look up some of these words in Chambers, because this is just madness. Let's start with Lok Sabha, the lower house of the Indian Parliament. Okay, just poor political knowledge there. Padimilon, any of several small wallabies. Fabulous. Kesham, that won't be in Chambers. It's a proper word, a proper noun. Wagnbeetji. Here it is. What does this mean? A name, wait a bit is a name given to various plants, especially South African, and the Afrikaans wagnbeetji, with thorns that catch the clothing of passers-by. I mean, lunatic. Now, scruto, a kind of stage trapdoor, of course, we should have known that. Narcissist, that's not in this dictionary. It must be only in some other dictionary. But, I mean, obviously the same meaning as narcissist. Gibberellin. Yeah, any of several plant growth regulators produced by a fungus of the genus Gibberella. Incredible. I am quite interested in that. 4, used especially by Rastafarians for we or us. Okay, gado, a kona. Malaysian dish of mixed vegetables, a kona. It is not in Bantu. Wasn't guessing that. Fuddle cap, which didn't appear in tea. A hard drinker, obsolete. Fantastic. Slugfoot second, that's quite an interesting entry as well. Oops, not slug. Slug. Slugfoot second, there it is. What? So a slug is the gravitational unit of mass, about 32 pounds, in the slugfoot second system. I mean, who knew or why? Sikeros won't be in here because he must be a person or she. Satira nomoi uncluing. Skogging, that's the last one I'll look up. To skog, to shelter. Well, skug is to shelter, and one of the Scottish variants of it is skog. I mean, there really was some insanity in that one this week, but this month. I hope that was entertaining, at least for some of you, if only to watch me just getting baffled all the way through. But that's another monthly one done and dusted. Didn't quite get there this time. Fuddle cap, skogging, very tough gibberellin. Oh well, better luck next time, and see you again on Cracking the Cryptic. Bye for now.